With more and more environmental restrictions or costs for travelling into cities across Europe, sleek, efficient and environmentally friendly electric bikes offer a solution, reducing carbon emissions and congestion whilst promoting a healthy lifestyle. But despite their potential, electric bikes often find themselves navigating a legal grey area, and with a number of high-profile accidents with non-compliant electric bikes, they are being cracked down on. So stick with us as we look at the legalities involved and share our recommendation on a fully UK and EU compliant bike that can still have options to make it more fun when off-road.
Don't forget to check out our other videos on everything campervan and motorhome related, from solar to water, heating to gadgets, tyres to trips. If you like this video, please do hit the thumbs up, it really does help me to know what you like, and you can ask any questions or give feedback in the comments. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of our future videos, please hit the subscribe button, and clicking the bell will give you a notification when a new video goes live. Finally, if you do decide to hit the thumbs down, it would be great if you could also leave a comment so I know what you didn't like.
This sticker on this Engwe Engine X is key to the compliance of an electric bike in the UK and EU. If a bike you are considering doesn't have one, then it's not legal to ride on the road or public cycle paths. So let's take a look at what that sticker means.
For an e-bike to be legal for use on the roads or public cycleways of the UK, it must have pedals to propel it, show either the power output or the manufacturer of the motor, along with the battery's voltage or the maximum speed of the bike. Its motor must have a maximum power output of 250 watts, and it should not be able to propel the bike when it's travelling more than 15.5 miles per hour or 25 kilometers per hour. As we can see from the compliance sticker on the Engwe Engine X, it meets all those criteria, unlike quite a few imported bikes available here in the UK, particularly those with a motor greater than 250 watts. Most EU countries have either the same or similar rules. But what is good about the Engine X is that whilst fully compliant for on-road use, it can still easily be made a bit more fun if you're able to use it off-road. A bit later we'll look at the simple changes in the settings that can then be put back to normal when on the road. Right now, for a limited time, we're excited to share that you can get an extra £100 off the Engine X by using our discount code in the video description, making it a bargain £879. Engwe very kindly sent us the Engine X to try out, so let's take a closer look at it. After we've unpacked it, we'll take a quick look at the specs, then we'll put it through some tests at the National Closed Road Racing Circuit, where we'll see how it performs in UK restricted mode, fully unrestricted, and the one I'm least looking forward to, without any power assistance. We'll also try it out off-road and see how the battery performs. The bike arrived really well packed and with a full toolkit for the final assembly, which was easy, and with the help of Engwe's YouTube step-by-step video, only took a few minutes. One of the key features of the Engine X is its ability to fold. Starting with the pedals, the handlebars and the frame, it gets down to a reasonably small unit, and lowering the seat, it can be pretty easily fit in a car boot or inside a van. When folded, it's easy to remove the battery using the key supplied with the bike, which means you can charge the battery in or away from the bike. The battery weighs just under 4 kilograms, and the bike without battery comes in at around 27 kilograms, giving a total weight of 31 to 32 kilos. The handlebars are well laid out with everything you need at your fingertips. The extremely robust rear rack, rated for 25 kilos, is a great design, allowing for mounting of custom bags, crates, or even a power bank that could be used to recharge your bike. As we know, the motor is 250 watts to make it compliant, and it has plenty of torque. The rugged design looks good and is robust. It has front and rear cable activated disc brakes, 7-speed Shimano derailleur gears, front and rear suspension, the front being adjustable and able to be locked out, Those fat knobbly tyres and mudguards make it capable in wet, muddy and loose surfaces. The sprung padded seat is comfortable, and front and rear LED lights including brake lights keep you seen, and that robust load luggage rack makes it a great workhorse. Overall, for the price, the specs are good and it looks pretty good too. First impressions for me when I got on the bike were the geometry of it. Now, I'm used to a mountain bike like on the right, which gives me a forward leaning position and the ability to get lots of power into the pedals. As you can see, the body position on the Engine X is more upright, giving a more relaxed and comfortable but less dynamic position. If you're used to commuter style bikes, you'll probably be used to this, but it took me a bit to adapt to it. Now let's take a look at how it performs when riding. We've come here to the National Closed Road Cycle Circuit in Carmarthenshire to really put it to the test, giving us the chance to try it out both in road legal setup and unrestricted, safely and without breaking the law. We're also going to give it a try out with no power assistance, which is worth watching just to see how out of breath I get. At the end of each lap, we'll look at the speed and the effort based on my heart rate during the lap. So let's start with it in UK legal configuration, as it is out of the box.
First circuit we're going to do is with throttle lock and speed limiter on. Now I'm going to try and do this at an average pace so that the power assistance continues to give me the benefit. So obviously as soon as I get over that 25 km speed limit, the power assistance stops. So I'm just holding it roughly on the level where the power assistance is giving me the maximum amount of assistance, which is around 15 miles an hour, so 25 kilometers an hour, just under. I'm now hitting quite a steep hill. I'm going to drop the gear a little bit, but the power assistance also kicks in. So it's quite an easy pull up this steep, reasonably steep hill. And then back onto the flat. Power assistance takes me up to where we can, and then the speed limiter kicks in. Back up into top gear. And I'm having to hold the speed back a little bit because to keep that power assistance kicked in. Because remembering, everything's set up on the bike for being road legal at the moment, so no throttle control and a limit of 25 kilometers an hour. So the power assistance, as soon as I go over 25 kilometers an hour, which I am now, just because I'm going downhill, the power assistance comes off. And actually for me, you know, that level when power assistance comes on is quite low. You know, on a normal push bike, I'd be riding faster than this anyway. But for hills, it is helpful. And if going at, you know, below that 15 miles an hour, where the power assistance kicks in, then, you know, it's helpful. And I'm in top gear and I'm easily on the flat cycling faster than the top speed limit, so I'm not really getting any assistance from the power assistance. Hold myself back and slow down a little bit so that the power assistance does kick in. I'm kind of just pedalling just behind the motor power to keep the motor kicked in. Just remembering, with that UK limit of having power assistance only, I've got to be pedalling for the motor to power. Speed's dropped off because there's a bit of an incline, and I'm going to drop the gear to make it a bit easier for me. The power assistance is also kicking in again. Coming up to my finishing point. It's one circuit of the closed circuit track here at Pembrey.
So that lap we did in 5 minutes 10 seconds with an average speed of 20.4 kilometers an hour, with my average heart rate of 140 beats per minute. Next, we're going to remove those UK road legal restrictions. First, activating the throttle so you don't have to pedal for the motor to kick in, and removing the speed limiter. This is all done in the control panel and can be found in the instructions manual and online.
Now I've let my heart rate come down to a bit more normal. It's not completely there, but it's the stress of doing a video for you guys. Now, remembering that I can only take the limits off the bike because I'm on this closed road circuit here in Pembrey. I've got the throttle control on, so I'm not having to pedal at all, as you can see on the flat. I'm doing 22.5, 23 miles an hour at the moment. Going round the curve. A bit of an incline here. Still at 25.7 miles an hour, hitting the steep. Yeah, it's taking its toll here, and I'm going to give it a bit of pedal assistance. I'm in top gear, and it's still easy. Going to get me to the top. 15 miles an hour still at the top. So that is probably the only bit of pedalling that I'll have to do to keep my speed up for the whole of the circuit. If anything, 26 miles an hour, 27 miles an hour now. 28.3. Going around 28.8, I think I saw as the top speed there, coming around that curve. Now back on the flat. As you can see, on the rest of the circuit, I'm having to put in no effort whatsoever because I can allow the motor to take all of the load. To the back straight. So on here, on the flat, on the straight, max speed 27.3 miles an hour. And that's with the throttle right down, and obviously all the speed limiters off. A little bit of an incline here, but it's still doing 24 miles an hour. Bit of headwind, and coming up to the finish point, and we're here.
Unrestricted, the lap was nearly 2 minutes quicker, with an average speed 12 km per hour faster than the restricted mode at 32 km an hour, and my average heart rate was 18 beats per minute lower at 122 beats per minute. Finally, and the one I really wasn't looking forward to, I've switched off the power assist completely.
Right, so here we go. No power assistance at all. I'm in gear 1. Going to go to 2. Going to go to 3. As you can see, it's quite a low geared bike, which it needs to be honest, for the weight. Now I'm going to go to 4. Even though I'm on the semi-flat, I think there's a little incline here. Still quite hard. And then gear 4. Gear 4 of 7, but I can't get into the 7, I don't think, quite yet. It's going to be quite a push. Yeah, I managed to get into 6th gear. Yeah, remembering this bike definitely isn't designed for speed. This is with no power assistance, remember, everything's turned off, and it's just my legs taking us round. The bit I'm particularly not looking forward to now, which is the incline. I'm going to have to drop it right down here because I know this is quite a steep one, and with the weight of this bike it's not going to be easy without any power assistance. So right down into 1, and I'm going to have to stand up and just about gonna make it in one. Wow, with no power assistance, you can tell the effort is pretty extreme, so much so. So I'm at the top on the downhill, and now relax a little bit, as maybe the weight of the bike will help me with the gravity behind it. It's getaways, up the gears, try and get some speed up, now that back straight. Now, although the bike was pretty comfy with that sit up and beg positioning when it had power assistance, trying to do any real speed on it in this position is hard when you've got the power assistance off. So you can absolutely see why that power assistance is helpful. Now I can, just glancing at my heart rate, you can see I'm at 170 now. Even though we're on the flat, still taking quite a bit of effort with no power assistance on. So coming round bottom corner now, onto that slight incline back into the finish with the headwind. And thankfully, coming into the finish,
so with no power assistance, I just about managed to do the lap in only 25 seconds longer than with the power assistance on, with an average speed of 18.8 kilometers an hour. But that took its toll on my average heart rate, which was 164 beats per minute, and I think you could tell it was a lot more effort. Comparing the heart rates, you can clearly see the benefit of the power assistance. Another way to get the heart rate up is to have a bit of off-road fun. Whilst the bike is unrestricted and we're off public roads, let's see how it performs. The grippy tyres and powerful motor do a great job, and it coped well with mud, water, loose surfaces and hills. The mud guards kept me dry and clean, and I have to say it was a lot of fun exploring the off-road trails. Now, a vital part of an e-bike is how the battery performs. During our testing down in Carmarthenshire, with a lot of unrestricted riding and a bit of UK legal power assist and quite a few hills, we got 20 miles out of the bike before needing to recharge. But today we're going to do a maximum discharge test in possibly the hardest conditions we can, using just the motor as much as possible in quite a hilly environment, and we're going to ride it until we pretty much run out of power. We started with a full battery and lost our first battery segment after just under 4 miles. After 6.4 miles we dropped another, and at just over 8 miles we ended up with 2 segments left. At just coming up to 12 miles of just using the motor and riding it hard with my 95 kilogram lump and some steep hills, we were down to 1 segment, and whilst it probably had a few more miles in it, I wasn't going to risk it going flat on me, having to ride in this environment unpowered, so that's where I stopped. Now, when ridden at a more sensible speed with pedal assistance and less weight to carry around, you should see a much higher distance able to be covered, but I really wanted to put it to the test. As we now have a nearly empty battery, let's look at the charging process. The battery in the Engine X is a 48 volt 13 amp hour battery, giving it 624 watt hours of power. Once plugged in, we can see it taking around 100 watts of power. Coming up to 6 hours later, we can see the battery is showing us full and has consumed a total of 488 watt hours, showing us that it was around 20% capacity when we started charging. If you do need more power, as the battery is removable, you can get an extra battery or even a rack mounted one. Engwe also do a great range of accessories, including a different style of handlebar which would have made the ergonomics easier for me to transition to.
Right, so whilst I enjoy a nice espresso heated and made from the Outin Nano, another battery powered innovation which you'll see more of in an upcoming video, I'll share my conclusions on the Engwe Engine X. If you're looking for an electric bike and want to use it legally on the road or public cycle paths in the UK and EU, then the Engine X is the perfect choice, as it's fully compliant, so you're not risking prosecution or confiscation, but it has the flexibility, if you are using it off-road, to remove those restrictions. So you can also get the maximum assistance and fun out of it. Its ability to fold makes it easier to store, and its full suspension, fat tyres and robust build make it super comfy and relaxing to ride. Its large mud guards do a great job of protecting you in the mud or wet, and the 25kg load carrier also makes it great for shopping trips. Its removable battery is great for security and ease of charging and has enough capacity for most. But if you need more, you do have the option to add an additional battery, and you can customise the bike with a list of accessories. And as Engwe are an established brand, you can be reassured of long-term customer service. Now, to call out a few things that you may want to think about. The geometry of the bike out of the box may take a little getting used to, depending on what bikes you've ridden before. I love the rugged looks, which I found turns heads, but it may not be to everyone's taste. Overall, it's a heavy bike at just under 32 kilograms with the battery installed. Removing the battery makes it more manageable. And finally, when the motor kicks in for power assist, it's not the smoothest and lacks the finesse of more expensive bikes. But it's perfectly usable and provides all the assistance you need. One pretty annoying thing for me is the brake configuration. As in the UK, it seems to be the only country to have rear brake on the left-hand side and the front brake on the right-hand side. Engwe bikes come with them the other way round to suit the US and European market, which takes a bit of getting used to. But whether it's for running around a campsite, nipping to the beach, having a ride around woodland, or commuting into a city, it does all these jobs really well. And when you compare it to its competitors, the price is difficult to beat. I've really enjoyed testing it out and can say it's not only practical, but when it's unrestricted off-road, it can definitely be lots of fun.
Don't forget that right now, for a limited time, you can get an extra £100 off the Engine X by using our discount code in the video description. Thanks for watching our video, and as always, if you have any questions or feedback, please pop them in the comments below. If you find the video useful, please like, share and consider subscribing.